Happy Friday, everyone. It's me, Lotus D. Thank you so much for coming to unwind with me on YouTube. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be able to speak to you all 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? Is that something that might be happening? I don't know. Why not? Let's just keep it going. Definitely looking forward to continuing on this lovely podcast with you guys and sharing some information I have as a certified life coach with you today and other days, of course. But today, specifically, we want to definitely, I personally want to make sure that I speak to what we spoke to yesterday, a little bit of touch on the same subject. It was about self-esteem. And I want to make sure that you all understand that, self-esteem encompasses all as well confidence as well as self-respect. So we're going to talk about self-respect and what that looks like. But, there's like 10 examples of what self-respect should be. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, due to I don't want to just say everyday life, but it could be everyday life that we sometimes forget about ourselves. And it's great to look out for others and really care for those around you. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm on here talking to you today because I do care and I want to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of something. Everybody has to pay for everything, right? But that being said, this is a free outlet for you all that you can kind of get to hear what we're thinking and see where you're thinking and kind of collaborate, if you will, by leaving a comment. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. But other than that, definitely want to go over those topics. I have like 10 really great examples that I really am so eager to share. So, again, I'm using my trusty notes. And I hope that you all get to be able to take away from some of this. I'm going to try my best to get through 10. It may only be five today, and five again our next time that we get to talk. But I definitely appreciate you all for coming to unwind with me and sitting for a bit. So, first things first, the thing that I think, and I understand why this is number one, because it's huge. It's setting boundaries. Um, a lot of times we think that, if we say no, that's setting a boundary. Um, but a lot of times our no's become yeses. And so is that really a boundary? Probably not, right? So let's look at and see what that really defines as setting boundaries. This is like clarifying and clearly defining the limits in relationships and professional interactions. That's like saying to someone, and this is just an example. I have a really good friend, actually one of my besties, that lives in Washington. And one of the things I would never want to do to her is wake her up when I'm on the other side of the planet, or should I say the other side of the continent, to wake her up at the crack of dawn, right? Even if she gets up at that time, that is not my intention to call her up and ring a ding ding. Now, don't get it twisted. There are times where things are too excited and you want to share with your friend. But when it comes down to it, you really, really need to have those boundaries set, even with your best friends and those that are closest to you, and you want to set them with people you work with because they'll answer your phone, they'll grab your mobile device, they'll eat your food in the refrigerator. How many of y'all have that happen? Okay, I'm just saying. I'm a foodie, and I'm like, it took me a minute to find the right restaurant, or even if I cooked it myself, there's no way you're gonna do that to me. So respect, respect, respect. But you have to set that. If you're not saying anything and you go, oh, it doesn't matter. They can call me whenever they want to. And middle of the night, living in New York, it was like people would call me at 2. And there were times I was up and there were times that I wasn't. And so finally, by just not answering the phone or sending a message saying, hey, I'm not going to answer anything after 12, or now we have that special thing for those of us who have iPhones where we can literally say, that we're busy or we're sleeping or we're resting or all those types of things so that our friends kind of know we're not going to get that notification until tomorrow. And thank you so much. And I know you normally can call me at 9 o'clock at night, but I have plans. Okay. And if you want to know about them, depending on how close we are, I'll share them with you. But otherwise, it is all about ensuring that we set those boundaries for our self-respect. So it's if you don't set them, they don't know. And if you keep on saying yes and you say no sometimes, they're like, I don't know what that means. So anyway, I had to change the mic over. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I changed it over because it was on this side and I kept on feeling like my mouth was going down like this the whole time I was trying to talk to you. So right here is feels more. It's supposed to be there. So hopefully, you guys can hear me really well over there, and we'll keep this cracking. All right, so that's number one. Number two, prioritizing mental health. You already know. We're going to talk about this for a minute. So we may not even get to five, but a lot of people do not prioritize their mental health. What does that mean? Okay, I'm going to give you what I feel it means, and then we're going to go into a little bit deeper. Taking breaks, seeking support when stress levels escalate. Okay, so what that basically means is if you're not taking breaks, even the company you work for gives you breaks. It should. Okay, so let me put that out there. It should be giving you breaks, allegedly. It should be giving you breaks, but there's some that do not. You need to ensure that that changes because you need that 15. I used to tell my team all the time, they were like, "Oh, Denise, how does that work?" And it never changed anywhere I work because I enforced it myself to make sure that they had that self-respect and that I gave them the self-respect that they were due. And so I made sure that if they worked for me 8 hours, which is usually the routine, and they worked legit like they worked 10, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'll need to go home. But they would work 9 hours. I made sure they had either an hour lunch and 2:15s. And the 2:15s they earned. So that hour lunch hit right in the middle of their shift. The 2:15s were 2 hours in, 2 hours almost before you go home. It was amazing how people would get so upset that I was sitting on the break. I'm like, "You gotta go." And they're like, "But I'm like, "No, you're standing up. Even if you're sitting down, get up, stretch." It's so imperative. So, mental health, you need time to breathe. I used to go outside. I loved when I used to work at a beauty place, and I worked where I could literally go outside and I could see outside, which is really cool because I'm an earthy girl. But and I could walk and I could say hi to my neighbors or whatnot, or my neighbors would come and say hi to me, and we'd step outside because it was just cooler, or it might be even warmer. Just depends on the day, who in my mood. I mean, sometimes you had those moments where you would like, this is really a crazy day, and I need some time for me, and I need to stretch. And so when I took my hour, or I took my even if it was 30-minute breaks, 'cause I did have a place that I worked that was only 30 minutes. Yeah, I know it's not a lot of time for your team, especially if they don't cook. But that being said, this was really important for me to tell them to leave. I sometimes would send them on a mission. I was like, "Go get some coffee. Get me some coffee. Get yourself some coffee." And by doing that, it lets them know that I see you. I accept the fact that you're going through what you're going through today, or maybe they're not, and they're just realizing that a lot's going on, or they just had a customer complaint, or on the phone, or they've been working their little tail off, and it's like, okay, you gotta get a break. I'm sorry, you need to. And so I would make up reasons for them to go. I remember when I worked next to a yogurt place, I used to tell my girls, I said, go over there and get some yogurt. And they were like, oh yeah, because it's not fattening, right? Except unless you put a lot of stuff on it, and I don't, but they did. And I would be like, well, it might be today, But that being said, you just have to take time for yourself. Even if you just go in your car and sit. If you don't have a car, just find a place, a bench, and sit. It's amazing how you feel going back in for that second round. So please keep that in mind, folks. Number two, right? Mental health. Okay. Prioritizing it. All right. Three, healthy lifestyle choices. Mm. Three, nourishing the body with nutritious food and regular exercise. Okay. So this is probably going to hit home for some people because they're going to be like, okay, I eat my vegetables, but not all the time. Or I take my content of I do my actual amount of water that's needed per day. Great. That's awesome. Amazing. Great job. Guess what? Exercise is really important. As you get older, your body changes and you no longer are as thin as you used to be. And sometimes you are as thinner or sometimes thinner than you used to be. And that's great. You're exercising. But even if you exercise when you get older, if you're not doing the proper things for, like, for instance, taking the time to um, drink a lot of water, watch your cholesterol, things of that nature, the end result is that unfortunately all those things show up. And that's why you have to go to the hospital or go to, excuse me, to your PCP in order to do your checkup, your routine checkups that are necessary. Because everybody wants to live forever or at least stay young forever. And the only way you can really do that is by taking care of you. So again, mental health, physical health. By what? Making sure we eat properly and things of that nature. All right. Number four, asserting your rights. Yeah, it's in there for self-respect, asserting your rights. So standing up for yourself and your needs in various situations. There's so many different ways that we have to stand up for ourselves. So many different ways that we show up for ourselves. But right now, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the ways we're doing that is by walking and doing things of that nature, by doing our protesting, by getting on forums and really having a comment, or even just seriously taking some time to say, this bothers me and I need to speak about it, ask questions about it, go into our court, whatever it is that makes you feel that your rights are absorbed or taken acknowledge of, and you're being heard and you're being seen. I think at the same times when I think of rights, I think of your personal space rights. You know, it could be something as simple of as ensuring that the rights and the policies that are in your job are being enforced correctly and ensuring that no one is taking advantage of you. You know, you getting the bulk of the work. Someone else always has this going on and that going on. They always have to call out and you end up taking all the bulk. That's not fair. It's just not fair. So again, you know, you're right. The fifth one, and I knew we were only going to make it to five, but making choices that reflect. So ensuring your um, decisions align with your beliefs and principles. So a lot of decisions we make, you know, we make those decisions. We have to set those decisions. And by doing such, we want to ensure that everything we do around that is aligned with what we believe in and that people who know us know our beliefs and they sometimes it's funny how it works out but a lot of times you start seeing your community has the same type of mindset as you and so they all end up literally, I guess I would say, coming together as a really great community where everyone has beliefs and they have the right to speak it and to share. And no one judges anyone for what they believe in. Well, now, sometimes it happens. So when that happens, that's where this number five is so imperative that we make choices that reflect what we want. So you wouldn't want to go to a community where, you know, they're speaking something totally different than what you're speaking to. Let's just say it could be church, it could be it could be some type of a degree you're wanting to attain. It can be a lot of different things that mentally may disrupt anywhere from the one to two, three, and four. Your mental health, right? We said setting boundaries. So any of those principles or beliefs that you have already set for people that comes back on five and reminds you to please make sure that you take time for you and you always put yourself first when it comes to issues of the heart and issues that may have unfortunately affected you in your life today. So please be understand that you're never a burden, um, and that you shouldn't be looked that way. And if you are, then you might want to check on your community seriously, because anyone who cares for anyone or loves anyone or even just enjoys what they do, it's not a burden to have someone need you. It's a gift to have a friend who wants to reach out to you and feels so secure and so safe. And that podcast that I left, you can look it up. It's called Friendship. That talks about that, and it shares how I don't feel comfortable going to every all my friends, but I have some friends about certain things I'll go to because they are experts at it. All right, guys. Well, we got to number five. I'm gonna rehash it, and I'm also gonna post it so we can know what those number fives were again online. But I definitely want to share. Number one was setting boundaries. Two was prioritizing mental health. Three was healthy life choices, and that's lifestyle. So your lifestyle. We all don't have the same lifestyle. We know that, right? You get it. Okay. Lifestyle. Asserting your rights and making choices that reflect self self-respect. That's it for today. It has been such a privilege, such an honor having you all on board here and having to sit with me for a little bit as we undo for the day or even just for 15 minutes of your time. But I truly thank you so much for reaching out. And again, don't forget to do those two things, like and subscribe. Until then, much, much peace, light, and love. Take care. Bye, guys.